Hello, what up, everybody? I maintained my promise. It's a shocking day. It's a revelation.
This is gold, straight up.
I actually maintained 2 promises from last week. One, I fixed the audio, so now you can hear sound bites. Confirm that you heard that, please.
Are you friggin' bonker pants?
Are you bonker pants or are you not bonker pants? Let me know in the chat below. And then secondly, I said I'm going to be here on Thursday. And guess what? It's gosh dong Thursday. And I sound like I'm learning Chinese because I've been on TikTok all day, you know, watching the end of the app happen. And then Red Note being the new app where everyone's learning Chinese. It's seared into my brain now. So there you go. I'm joining the party. So hi. Okay, so this topic, grab your florals, get your popcorn, and watch this video, this live stream that's going to be so fun for you girlies out there. JK. This topic is obviously, fairly serious. Something I'm, interested in. I've been interested in this type of world, I guess, the wellness world, especially in these severe cases in the wellness world, because it's all fun and games to find something to relax, find something to calm down with, doing a sound bath, yoga meditation, go into a sauna, going into a cold plunge. It's all fine until you take it to the extreme, which is what we're going to talk about today, which is, hey, I've been diagnosed with cancer, but my online guru or the guru from Goop that I worship for some reason told me that it's all in my head. And if I just eat an alkaline diet and I believe in myself, this cancer will no longer exist. And that's, as we've seen many times before, most recently probably, and most close to this channel at least, is Jessie Lee Ward literally being diagnosed and dying within a year in front of our eyes because she decided to take a holistic mind over matter approach to curing her cancer holistically, and she passed away, like tragically, at a very young age. So I figured it was time to expand upon this subject a little bit and talk about some of the other people who have done this too that are in the public eye. And so I picked out 3 people, one being Jessie Lee as well, to revisit that just a little bit. 3 people who are all famous in some way. I wouldn't say celebrity, but I definitely would say influencer. 3 different people, women, who are all choosing or have chosen to forego traditional treatment, or at least the full range of treatment from their healthcare professionals, and go the wellness route and hawk products and, have some sort of online presence where they're talking about healing and wellness and blah, blah, blah. One person, I think, and we're talking about who they are, one woman has seen the error of her ways and is trying to make up for lost time having screwed up. One person has gotten lucky, went in remission after doing a surgery, but chose not to go the full route and is thankfully okay, but doubles down on their decision and is giving advice and has a wellness company. And then obviously Jessie Lee, who went full into this process and passed away tragically. So that's kind of the whole spectrum of possibilities. And we're going to talk about each one and dissect it a little bit. So I am much better. My voice has returned. However, I still have a little coughy cough. So apologies for that, because I will be once in a while. But thank you for joining me. And this is behind me, Sedona, Arizona, the home of wellness influencer and life coach Heidi Powell. She's not from Sedona, but she's from Arizona. And this is the vortex that will heal you from all ailments, all problems, if you just sit there and go, heal me, heal. Wait, hold on. I have a song for this. Spirit guides of the Galactic Federation, Place your healing hands with 2 fingers on my heart chakra, please. Heal me from within and make people buy my products that I'm selling on my website, www.wellnessismybrand.org. And find me in peace at this retreat that cost me $7,000. And it's all worth it in the end if you are hot. Anything's possible. Namaste. Okay. Here we go. So we're going to start with best case scenario, and then we'll go down the line, unfortunately. Okay, so some of you may know this person if you are a 90s child or an 80s child, baby. 80s babe. Babe, are you from the 80s?
No.
I was born in 1991.
Her charisma is straight up off the charts.
Okay, so this is Ananda, not Amanda, Ananda Lewis. And she was on MTV back in the 90s, and she did a bunch of shows. I think she did something with Hillary Clinton at one point. But she's kind of been off the TV scene for a while. She does some she was going to do an HD TV show at one point, kind of recently, but she's kind of been out of the limelight for a while. But anyway, so her story is that she was in the camp, and this is something that Jessie Lee Ward alleged. And again, if you're new to this channel or don't know what the heck I'm talking about, Jessie Lee Ward was an MLM distributor / business coach who I talked about previously in a couple videos. And she was like notorious for being this big personality and recruiting people and being like, I'm thin and this is what being healthy looks like. And she was kind of like into, bullying her team into success. And she was a very, like I said, big personality, very confident, very much like, everything is in your control. She was diagnosed with, I believe, like colon cancer after losing a bunch of weight. And she decided not to do traditional treatment and decided to keep talking about her MLM products and passed away. So that's who that is. This person is also involved, unfortunately, in MLMs. Guess which one? I'll give you a countdown of 4 seconds to guess. There's only a few, and it's definitely one we've talked about. So 4, 3, 2, 1. Did you answer doTERRA? Because you'd be right. She's a doTERRA essential oils girly. So we already know we're off to a rough start. And also, in case you were wondering, Ananda has got like 1,000 products in the wellness arena, as well as other random, camping stuff. I guess she's into camping. doTERRA stuff, castor oil, blackout curtains, I guess is regular. Red light stuff, more red light stuff. Blah, 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 probiotics and this and that and organic and all this. Okay, more. And then more supplements and then more journals. And it's just all the stuff that you see, enema kits. And then she's got some interesting videos. I killed a raccoon. Change your door lock, sis. And I found wasp larvae in my fig. So that's what she's been up to. But so she was in the camp that Jessie Lee Ward was also in, where she thought mammograms were bad for you. So she had heard somewhere from some other wellness person that mammograms give you radiation. Therefore, getting a mammogram when you're supposed to, according to, the health department, starting when you're 40, is actually the cause of cancer. That was her theory at some point. Then she was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, I believe, breast cancer, ironically, I guess, sort of. And from there, she decided to keep the tumor and she wanted to heal herself naturally. She tried that. It seems like she did a lot of the stuff we've talked about, the saunas, the going into having a life coach tell you to think positive thoughts. She did the supplements, she did all that stuff. And guess what? The cancer got worse. Now it's stage 4. And now she's in deep regret about doing that, taking that route, because, now she's got to start treatment from the beginning, essentially. And now it's incurable. Now there's a lot less of a chance to recover because it's spread to other parts of her body, unfortunately. But again, she's got, while this is all going on, she's got, she has changed her ways. That is the positive. She has now, she has a message of you should do mammograms, and it would have helped her. So I have to give her kudo credit for admitting she was wrong and deciding to say, hey, I screwed up. I believed and it didn't work. And now she still has a chance to fix it. But also, she was following a route that a lot of people, Elle Macpherson, who we're going to talk about next, would probably tell you to do today, even though she was also diagnosed with cancer and, did the tradition, the wellness, holistic route. Anyways, so let's hear from her. We're going to hear, which one should we listen to first? Here's her YouTube channel. It's kind of funny. She's got very funny, interesting thumbnails. She's got a very unique thumbnail game. Let's hear from her talking about the mammogram situation. Because, again, I do have respect for her because she has admitted that she wasn't, she was in the wrong. So here we go.
I need to share something with you today that I'm not thrilled about sharing. First, I want to apologize to the family and friends who are going to be hearing this for the first time, with everybody, and who are going to feel like I should have had the conversation with them directly. I can explain to you later why I didn't, but from the beginning of all this, I have been really shielding myself from any unnecessary stress, and in fact, removing a lot of stress from my life. And that phrase, don't talk about it, be about it, that's been my life for almost 2 years. And honestly, there's nothing any of you could have done. So I apologize if you feel like I excluded you. It wasn't personal. It was really just about what I needed. I am sharing this with you today because it's the beginning of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I have been fighting to get cancer out of my body for almost 2 years. For a really long
Okay, so that was kind of an important line. So she said, I was fighting to get cancer out of my body for 2 years. Okay, so at the time, she decided not to. So this is from a New York Times article that I'm reading from on my other screen. Okay, it says, Lewis said that she had decided not to get a double mastectomy despite her doctor's recommendation in early 2019 when she first discovered the lump and learned she had stage 3 breast cancer. She sought conventional care after receiving the initial diagnosis, speaking to the right and best oncologists and breast surgeons. And then she said, but I decided to keep my tumor. I decided to keep my tumor, which is a very weird thing to say. I decided to keep my tumor and try to work it out of my body a different way. Okay, then it says, now here's where it kind of gets interesting and kind of confusing at the same time. So instead of getting the double mastectomy, she said she opted for more conservative treatment that included chemotherapy, as well as other forms of care, including changes to her diet, sleep, and exercise habits. After 16 weeks, her cancer was down to stage 2, she says. Okay, very interesting. But then she does that, it goes back down, but because she didn't do everything that they had said, like the full regimen, she just picked and choose kind of, and I don't know what line of chemotherapy she ended up doing, but now she says, I wish I could go back. It's important for me to admit that I went wrong with this. Okay, so let's go back to the video.
Long time, I have refused mammograms, and that was a mistake. I watched my mom get mammogrammed for 30 years almost, and at the end of that, she had breast cancer. And I said, radiation exposure for years, breast cancer. Yeah, I'm gonna pass, thanks anyway. I am stubborn, I'm going to admit that up front. Those of you who know me know that's true. And I stand by that thinking. I stand by the research that shows that an accumulation of radiation in your body can cause cancer. And here comes the but. But what I didn't understand and what I need you to understand, the reason I'm here telling you my business is because I would have had probably 3 or 4 mammograms by the time They caught it. Instead, I've had to have 2 PET scans so far. Guess how many mammograms worth of radiation a PET scan is? Anyone? 30. 30. So 60 mammograms. You do the math. If I had done the mammograms from the time they were recommended when I turned 40, they would have caught the tumor in my breast years before I caught it through my own breast exam, self-exam, and thermography. And they would have caught it at a place where it was more manageable, where the treatment of it would have been a little easier. It's never easy, but I use that word in comparison to what I'm going through now. Instead, what I'm dealing with is stage 3 breast cancer that is in my lymphs. I need you.
And again, it's gotten worse since this point. And I want to go back to the article just for a second. So this is what she said at first. And this is a phrase that I've heard from basically every wellness influencer out there, some form of this, right? Okay, this sentence. She says, my plan at first was to get out excessive toxins in my body. I felt like my body is intelligent. I know that to be true. Our bodies are brilliantly made. Looking back on that, I go, you know what? Maybe I should have had the mastectomy, but I didn't have good options. They wanted to take both. They wanted to do all these big things that I was not ready for. And hey, again, it's her body, her life, but it's my body's intelligent and it can heal itself. That part is like directly from any wellness influencers, grift paperwork that they read to get you to buy whatever product. You just have to, believe in this placebo effect and it will heal you. I mean, that's what they're saying essentially. Your intelligent body can heal itself. It's Louise Hay. If you just think that your finger will grow back, it will. It's magical. It's just like, okay. And it's disease, not disease, because you're not eased right now. That's why it's happening. Anyway, so that was her mentality, and I feel badly because she seems very logical now. She seems very well put together. I, again, appreciate and give her 1,000,000% kudos and respect for changing her opinion. But I feel badly that she was caught up in this grift that happens every single day on my Instagram. So anyways, okay, back to it.
To get your mammograms. I have been doing 100% alternative and natural protocols and treatments, and I have helped this particular condition not spread like wildfire through my body. That's good news, but it's not gone, and I still have a lot of work to do, and I wish I could go back.
Okay, I'm just gonna go back for 1 second just to see, because she shows some images, some B-roll of what she was doing, and it went kind of fast. But it was definitely like a sauna. Let's see. Wait, let's go back. Hold on. Okay, so she's juicing. Okay, that could be, I'm sure that's good for you. I'm not saying don't juice. Oh my God, don't be stupid. But is that going to cure the tumor? No. Okay, so she's juicing, probably organic. She's in some sort of, I don't even know what this is, a sauna wrap or something, some sort of massage table. And then this is poultice. What is that? Poultice? I don't know what that is. Let me know if you know what that is. Some sort of mud with a stick in it. And it's Poultice. What the hell? I never have seen this one, to be fair. So maybe this is a new wellness trend. Okay, poultice, also called cataplasm, is a soft, moist mass. Soft, moist mass, often heated and medicated, that is spread on cloth and placed over the skin to treat an aching, inflamed, or painful part of the body. It can be used on wounds such as cuts. Okay, so again, wounds and cuts ain't gonna do for breast cancer, but okay, that's what that is, in case you're wondering. All right, back to the video.
I've helped this particular condition not
sauna
spread like wildfire through my body. That's good news, but it's not gone, and I still have a lot of work to do, and I wish I could go back.
It's like, what a regret.
I have a 9-year-old I need to be here for. I have no intention on leaving him. I don't want to leave any of my kids. I don't want to leave my friends, my family. Hell, I don't want to leave myself. I like being here. So listen, this is not how this was supposed to go, but I'm just going to keep it real with you like I always do. I need you to share this with the women in your life who may be as stubborn as I was about mammograms. And I need you to tell them that they have to do it. Early detection, especially for breast cancer, changes your outcome. It can save their life.
It's heartbreaking. This is like a heartbreaking video to watch because, again, she was just, it seemed like a victim of probably her algorithm, probably something in her childhood. It was like already kind of, into wellness or, pseudoscience type stuff, and is like, oh, what's the word? It's like not, you're like in a disposition already. Like you're almost primed and ready to be sold to by wellness people and to be convinced like, okay, if this ever happens to me, I'm going to treat myself naturally and it's going to work because I'm special and different and I'm going to be able to get the toxins out of my body and I'm going to prove everyone, wrong about their bodies. Like I have, intelligent wisdom because I've watched all these gurus and read cookbooks about health and whatever. And what a regret to have, And again, I'm glad she's changing it now in time.
This is way harder than I thought. I see why people keep it private. For me, it was important to come to you and admit where I went wrong with this.
It's hard
because
to admit, too.
It could help you or someone you know. This is an ongoing journey for me, one that has been filled with, so.
Okay, I don't know what that was. Some sort of bandage. Let's see what her pictures are.
One that has been filled with.
Okay, she's got a bandage. I don't know what that's supposed to be. What treatment? Okay, juicing. We saw that before.
So many things. Different diets, different protocols, different energetic work, everything. I've done everything. I don't know how I'm going to share it with you yet, but
She's done everything, and yet again, it spread and got worse. So she's probably spent, thousands of dollars. Okay, whatever this is, whatever. Juicing, fine. Go for it. Okay, here's where I've seen it before. Okay, 25 supplements. It looks like Brian Johnson's morning breakfast. Some sort of supplements. Okay, then she's meditating on sand or something. Okay, again, fine. Do this in addition. Do this on top of what your doctor is telling you to do. That's my 2 cents. Okay, then some sort of sensory, I'm assuming, red light or something. And then this is the hyperbaric chamber, looks like. And then this is sauna. Okay, so again, could be, the only thing missing is a cold plunge. This is like every wellness guru's morning routine, essentially.
I don't know how I'm going to share it with you yet, but.
And then IV, probably, of some kind.
I'm so relieved, honestly, because now at least I can share with you some of this journey. I don't have to feel so muzzled. For me, alternative is still the best way. I stand by that. I believe in the power of my body. I believe in the intelligence of my body. I believe in my power, and I believe in the power of my God. And all of that is going to help me. I believe it. I own it. It is.
Believe in your doctor as well. Just add that to the list. Alternative method is the best? No, it's not. No, it's not. Okay, she's 99% of the way there. That 1 extra percent, she could just knock that off and be the perfect spokesperson for the grifty industry needs to end or have regulations now.
It's real for me. And that's all that matters. Well, there's a couple other things that matter too, but you know what I'm saying? Like for the most part, that's what matters. And this will not steal my joy. That's one other thing I need you to really understand. I don't care what's going on in the world, and we are living in a crazy freaking world right now. It's a shit show, for real. And none of it takes your power unless you give it away. Remember that. You are always in control of how you feel, no matter what the environment and the circumstances seem to be doing in your life and in the world.
Choose joy, baby.
Don't give that power away. It is everything. So Can you be happy and be fighting to get cancer out of your body? Abso-freak-a-lutely. It is your choice and it is your right, as it is mine. In hindsight, listen, I'm not even gonna talk about hindsight. Hindsight gonna make me lose my daggone mind. Let's talk about right now. Right now, you have the opportunity to make a different choice. Call your doctor, call whoever the hell you need to call to get your mammogram scheduled, and then show up for it and then do it. Because the consequences of not doing it, you don't want. Please trust me on that. Thank you so much for listening. And I really hope you heard me. Oh, and lastly, please don't be sorry for me. Don't be sorry this happened. Listen, 1 out of 2 women and 1 out of 3 men will experience some kind of cancer in their lifetime. This is not the journey for sorry. This is the journey for empowerment and love and high intention and good energy. So if you're gonna send me anything, only send me that from that list. You can pick anything on the, all that stuff I just said. That's that stuff. I love you guys. Please help me spread the word. Get your mammograms. Take care of your girls.
Okay, so I give that a 9 out of 10. I could have done without I still choose alternative is the best. I think that we could have lost that one, but everything else, I stand behind. Good job. Let me do some cheers. Good work. Okay. What else about Ananda? Let's play a couple minutes of this one, but I might move on to Elle soon, but that's her story essentially. And I hope she does pull through. I really do. I hope that she can get it under control and she can help other people, fight and get their mammograms. Cause I think that is a great way to pay it forward at this point. Because she's the perfect person to say, I've been through this, I believe these things, and here I am on the other side, and I'm glad that I changed my mind. Because like she said, being stubborn, a lot of these wellness people are extremely stubborn. If you show them a study, they're like, that study is biased. It's from big pharma. Okay. Do you know big pharma is not as big as big wellness? And I'm not saying, oh my God, I love big pharma. Big pharma is my daddy. I just worship big pharma. No, that has a million trillion issues too. And I saw someone in the chat say like, they think it's because a lack of, universal health care in the US is part of the problem. 100%. A lot of women cannot get a mammogram and they go, well, I think psychologically you might in your head go, well, I can't get this because it's unattainable for me for being unaffordable, not in my network, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You're in a system that is not easy to navigate. You lost your job. Now you don't have insurance. You're like, the last thing I need to do is go spend hundreds of dollars, getting a preventative thing that may not show me anything. So I get it. And I think then psychologically you go, well, let me look for an alternative that's free. Now you're on your Instagram looking up, remedies, looking up wellness stuff, and now you're sucked into the vortex. And then 10 years later, when you do have something now you're again predisposed to believe, oh, I'm just gonna do the sauna route. And that, doesn't ever rarely leads to a good place. Okay, so I'm just curious as to what this is. I have not watched it. So it's called Cocktails with Queens. Okay, here we go.
Welcome, the fantastic survivor, Ananda Lewis. Hey, girl.
Yay! Hi, Selena. I love your show. I watch a lot, and I thank you for how you represent us on TV.
Sound?
It's beautiful.
You're welcome. We've been wanting to have you on, and can you tell us? You're just not going to age. You're going to still look 25 for the rest of your life, right? You're going to keep looking 25.
She does.
That's what we do.
We should go have some lunch together. You get up here, you be like, oh, I see it.
Not.
Thank God I'm holding up good. I do a lot of work.
And I saw her at the airport about a month or so ago. And honey, first of all, I saw the ass.
I know that's right. What?
And then I saw the complexion. And then I heard the voice, which made me go, Ananda. And she turns around, she says, Lisa Ray. I said, oh, your old friend is like, hey, girl. So no, she looks just the same. She ain't got nothing on here.
Ananda,
thanks, y'all.
Ananda, one of those ladies that's gonna be fine forever. Seriously, just fine forever.
Secrets though that work. So we'll talk about that on the next show.
Oh yes, we will. So Ananda, let's get into it because the people in the chat are, first of all, everyone's excited. They're like, oh my God, I love her so much. Like they are giving you so much love in the chat. Now, in 2020, you shared with your social media followers that you had been battling stage 3 breast cancer for 2 years. And now tell us about your journey and why was it important for you to announce that and to make it public? And was that scary for you?
So my journey started January of 2019. And really it started before that because those of you who said you do have friends, family that have gone through breast cancer, if you're kind of in that fight with them intimately, you see that once they find out it's there, they're staged. Like you just said, I was stage 3 when I found out. Selena, it sounded like your sister was stage 2. There are all these different stages. And basically all that means is how big is the tumor and how far has it gone in your body? Mine was a stage 3 because although it started in my breast, it had gone to my lymph nodes already in my under my armpit. And so they stage that once it gets out of the localized breast area, then your stages go up. If it had gone to my liver or my brain or my bones, which are very common spread areas, then it would be a 4, right? We always hear, oh, they have stage 4 because that's what we're told. It means you're gonna die soon because we can't do anything about stage 4. So mine was found at stage 3. I knew it prior because I felt my own lump. And Lisa Ray, you were talking before about the other tests. Thermography is the test that you were referring to. And that's the one where it's basically a heat sensing camera where it scans your body and based on the heat levels in the different areas of your body, you can tell you, okay, is there something going on here or not? Inflammation gives off a lot of heat. Cancer is a further down the line outcome of inflammation. And so it gives off a lot of heat too. And so that's how mine was found. Thermography. And then I found it myself doing my breast exam every month in the shower, which I highly recommend to women because Claudia, you and I are the same in that I'm a bit of a hypochondriac, but also a doctor avoider. Yep. So I wasn't going and doing what I needed to do. At one point I didn't have insurance, which is another issue a lot of us face as Black women. Our life gets a little rocky. And one of the first things to go is health insurance. So at the time I was going to go get a mammogram, I didn't have any insurance. My mom had breast cancer and I walked her through hers. And I knew my chances would be higher because my mother had it. I also knew I wasn't going to do the same thing that she chose to do. It's a very personal decision. I think the way I've chosen to handle it has scared people around me, but my success level has been amazing to me. I've gone from a 3 to a 2. I got it out of my lymph node. It is still localized in my breast, but a tumor in your breast won't kill you. My goal is to keep it from going anywhere.
But now it's my understanding that it has gone from, I guess you're saying a 2 to a 4. So there you go.
For else, but I've also kind of rejected and said no to a lot of what conventional medicine told me I needed to do because I disagree and it's my body. So.
Wow.
Which I agree. Hey, your body, your choice. If you want to do that, go for it. But then don't promote it to other people. Go, this is great. Which, they'll all say, I'm just sharing my story. But why do you share your story? To get other people to understand what you went through and then possibly do it in their life. I mean, it's undeniable. I just feel like people who are like, I'm just sharing my story. Yes, but also the reason we do that is because you want other people to take something from that story. And usually it's not do the opposite.
But also,
but okay.
First of all, I commend you for being a naturalist and taking matters into your own hands, because a lot of times the doctors don't have all the answers. And that's, that's just something that we need to embrace.
Yeah.
The doctors don't always have the answers. Medicine is a temporary or if not prolonged Band-Aid, basically.
Okay. A few things on this comment. I think this is a dangerous road to go down. Do I totally think, again, every doctor is right every single time and can never make a mistake and whatever? No, of course not. There's a lot to be improved upon. However, to be applauding someone for being brave to do things on their own and not take their doctor's advice because they don't have all the answers to everything. So you think a guru that wrote a cookbook does, like you're going to put your faith in their hands? I don't like it. I don't like that mentality.
So I commend you for that. My sister, hers was stage 2, and she did get the lumpectomy, and she is on the tamoxifen, and she hates it. Yeah, she absolutely hates it, and she's actually weaning herself off on it. You're supposed to be on it for 5 years. Yeah, she's weaning herself off on it. But let's
is she doing the other things though? If she's, I agree with you. And I know that if we're not doing something, cancer will spin out of control. So is she doing things in the natural field?
Yeah, she has a therapeutic doctor who actually helps her with, this weaning situation and the naturalist, lifestyle, so that she can do this, because she's 49. So she's in that area where it's perimenopause, what I'm saying? So the estrogen is a fool and, but let's talk about the mammogram. I legit went and had the mammogram today. I had one in February.
Literally today?
Literally on today.
Wow. Okay.
And it was just so happened that it fell on this day, but I have dense breasts. So when I had the first one, I had my 2 mammograms, I always,
in case you were wondering,
normal. So I have to go back because of the dense breast. But you avoided the mammogram because of radiation.
Yeah.
And it, talk to us about, your mom actually got the mammogram consistently, because now I'm feeling away, for 30 years, and then ended up getting it. Do you feel that it's related to the
Okay, I don't know what her answer is going to be. Do you think it's related? Okay, I think no, personally. Who knows? I'm no doctor or no scientist. But okay, it's in the family, and Ananda got it, so probably it's genetic. She got no mammograms and then got breast cancer. Her mom got regular breast cancer and was discovered via mammogram. That's what it's for. So I think they're trying to put pieces of a puzzle together that don't necessarily fit together to try to build a narrative that being natural and holistic is the better way to be and the more commendable way to be, which I just, again, think is a disease. Louise Hay, hear me now. A disease of like our current system of the wellness influencers. It's like you should be applauded for taking a dangerous, risky route of wellness, and you should be shamed and embarrassed that you listen to a doctor and you're on a medication that doesn't make you feel good. That's part of it. It's horrible, it's awful, but it's part of getting through the treatment. Yes, it's not going to be pleasant, but it's like, it's part of the survival of it. I don't know. It's just, I don't like this, like, yes, sister, you are so strong for disagreeing with the medical system. Why are we applauding that?
Radiation from the mammogram?
So any doctor and anybody with any spit of medicine and medical background can confirm for you that radiation will cause cancer in the human body. So basically, cancer is cells refusing to die, right?
If you were in Chernobyl, okay, when the thing exploded, those people got cancer because they had high radiation levels. Yes. Okay, but they're not, there's no thing of like, if you get mammograms, you will definitely get like cancer. That's not true at all.
They propagate, they spin out of control, they refuse to die like normal cells are supposed to do. And that can be triggered by lots of things. DNA damage is one of the biggest things. Radiation damages your DNA. So my thinking, and what I still believe is true, is that over, in my mom's case, 30 years, but however many years prior to that, 10, 20, that much radiation and accumulated in your body over that period of time will cause problems. Here's where my thinking was wrong. The benefits outweigh that risk. The benefit of knowing what's going on in your body so you can do something about it, whatever that is you choose to do, is more important than the little bit of radiation you're going to get exposed to, right? We get exposed to more radiation.
Thank you. Some logical thinking here. Thank you.
Radiation flying on airplanes more often than once a month. We get more radiation exposure through running microwaves in our homes. So there are things we're already doing that are worse for you than a mammogram. I will say that to this day, I still haven't had a mammogram, and I encourage women to do early detection. I don't specifically think mammograms are the only thing to do, although I think thermography is also a bit of a half measure. It can only show you there's heat coming out of a certain area. It can't show you why. And when you're trying to get early detection and as much information as possible, you need to understand a deeper idea of what's going on in the body. So what I recommend is a 3D ultrasound, and that gives you, because most Black women, including myself, have very dense breast tissue, like you just said, we need something that's going to look deeper, but not radiate us more, right? So the 3D ultrasound is not covered by a lot of insurance That's the other thing I've learned in this. It's not just medical discrimination, it's financial discrimination.
They hate us. They absolutely hate women. They don't want us to. It's outrageous. It's outrageous.
Yeah.
That should be automatic with the amount of growing
They're
cancer.
concerned about other parts of our bodies that they want to regulate on. That's
what
makes it even crazier, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
And all that really means is that, like, I forget who said it, but you have to be your own advocate. Selena, maybe you said it based on your sister's experience. They aren't supposed to care about you more than you care about you. So us continuing to think they should is our fault. I know.
Yes, I agree with what they're saying for the most part. And the wellness influencers, the industry also cares a zero amount about you and your outcome. You need to advocate for yourself in the doctor's office, on your Instagram feed, taking a supplement that's not approved by the FDA, all of this stuff. It doesn't mean like the wellness people care, the doctors don't. They both don't care. So keep that in mind.
For a fact, I care about myself more than anybody on this planet ever will. And so it is up to me to make sure I'm getting the information, asking the questions, and circumventing a system that is designed to hurt me, or at least not to be the one who gets helped. Black women's death rates for cancer are still 40%, the same they were 20 years ago. And none of the really amazing benefits that have happened in the breast cancer world and the technology and the developments of different medicines, none of those have helped Black women. Why?
Wow.
Because we're not the target audience. We're not who they're there to help.
Okay. Also, yes, I think she's probably correct in a lot of ways. However, if they were to do innovations in technology and detection, but they had radiation, you wouldn't have gone anyways at the time. So you need to take a little bit of responsibility and go, okay, how much of this is like they're not doing it versus I'm also against the whole industry, so I won't even do anything that they say. It's kind of a hard, I don't know, it's like illogical fallacy, I guess.
When some of us get helped, adjunctly, that's great. But remember when Issa Rae was on the red carpet and they said, who are you rooting for tonight? She said, I'm rooting for all Black people.
Okay.
Everybody roots for their own people. Let's just be clear about that. Like, I don't want to waste any more time expecting people who aren't going to show up for me to show up. Let me go to the people who are showing up and help that along, right? Because I'm beating a dead horse. Nothing's going to happen with us trying to beat against the door and saying, look at us. We have enough money. We have enough intelligence. We have enough people in the medical field who are brown and Black that we can turn this situation around ourselves. And we're the ones who benefit from doing it. So I'm tired of waiting on other doctors to say, oh, here, let me tell you about this new thing. No. I went out and found everything I wanted to do. I went out and figured out how to pay for it. And thank God for angels that stepped in and helped me do that, because I never would have been able to afford the 16 weeks of integrative treatment I did in Arizona otherwise. And I'm doing the work. And so I will say to all of you, 1 in 3.
Oh, so she was in Arizona too. Arizona, the cancer curing capital of the world.
Women will get cancer, which means we're all going to know somebody who's going to deal with this. And it may, God forbid, be us, right? And this group, hopefully I'm the only one. I'm 4 or 5 of us here now. Hopefully it's just me. But what you can do to prevent it is what I like to focus on, because I wish I could go back 10, 15 years and start doing the things I know how to do now. I believe you can reverse anything that happens to your body, but you have to be disciplined. You have to be educated about what to do, and you have to be willing to suffer a little bit. Either way, you're going to suffer. I know what your sister went through, Selena, was horrible. I know what Vanessa Bell Calloway, Vivica, went through. I saw that from a distance as well. And Lisa Ray, your aunts, and like Claudia, your grandmother, all of us have been touched in some way, some more than others. But what we've seen is that it's not easy. But it's not easy either way. If you're in a healthy body listening to me right now, it's not easy to stay healthy. But it's up to you to do the work, because you're going to have to do it one way or the other.
Okay, I think we should end this part there and move on to Elle and hear from her, because she's got a similar take. She doesn't like anything preventative in the sense of like mammograms or whatever, Elle. But, the last thing I'll say about this is that I feel like there's a little bit of mixed messaging here. I think that there's also a little bit of, you have to be disciplined to not get cancer. You have to be willing to suffer to heal your body and allow it to be intelligent to heal itself. Like you need to eat healthy, you need to exercise, you need to do all of these protocols, all these modalities. You have to spend money and go to Arizona. That seems to be and then she's also talking about, we as a society, everyone should be able to afford getting a mammogram. Okay. But then in the next sentence, she goes, but you need to work hard and, suffer to be able to be healed and holy. That's where I'm like, well, which one is it? Because it's unattainable for everyone, most people, if they are diagnosed, to spend 6 months with a holistic naturalist. It's not going to happen. So how do we fix the system so that everyone can benefit and not just be told, juice your juices, take your supplements that cost $1 million and are unproven? That's the solution. That's the only solution. It's like, it's disappointing and it's a letdown. And before we move on, thank you to Arian Bates. Thank you so much. Arian Bates says, Mango Frequency, please. So glad you're back, Kia. Please give my love to Taro. Hey, Taro. Arian Bates gives you his love or her love or their love. That was me. She's on the couch right now. And for that, of course, you can get the Mango Frequency, of course. For you.
The Mango Frequency.
And I'll even double it with this. There you go. All right. So we're hoping that Ananda can overcome her stage 4 diagnosis at this point. Who knows? I hope that she gets back into the traditional treatment fully, does the, double mastectomy, whatever they tell her to do. I hope she does it. And I hope that she becomes an advocate for listening to medical professionals and helping people get into a doctor's office versus pushing them away from going. Let's get more people to be able to see more qualified people as opposed to let's make everyone fear them and let's push them all towards, yoga teachers because at least they, are nice to us. It's like, I just don't think that that's a good message personally. She's got an aging slow workshop in case you want to join, you want to age slow. I will say her credentials are that her face is very ageless. She looks very young for her age and very youthful. So, hey, I might be hitting up this course. No, I won't. But I guess she's not teaching how to keep yourself healthy. She's only teaching you how to keep your face looking fresh. And there you go. That's fine with me. Okay, so end scene on Ananda. Thank you very much.
Jeez, this is so good.
Now we're going to talk about someone who is much more controversial, much more annoying, should we say, in my humble opinion. Someone who I believe has doubled down. And to be fair, she has been in remission. So she has not, at least publicly, come out and said, it's come back, my cancer has returned, none of that. So it seems like she is correct in her course of treatment, meaning she chose not to do the traditional route, decided to go this wellness route, and it's worked for her. So that's wonderful. However, I disagree with her whole stance, and she's had a lot of controversial takes through the years, including so if you don't know who this is Elle Macpherson. If you've seen Batman, she was one of the love interests of Batman at one point. Which one was she? Elle Macpherson. She was, if you're a Batman fan, she was in Batman and Robin with George Clooney. So here she is in that. Hold on. Ta-da. So you might recognize her from that. But she was also a supermodel, still is a model. She now owns a wellness company. Shocking. Wow. Who would have predicted that? And she is known, she's an Australian supermodel. And back in the day, she was known as, her nickname was The Body, which I find to be a very weird nickname. The Body, which I guess is to insinuate her face is unattractive. I don't know what that nickname means, but that was it. She's been on Sports Illustrated. She was a part of like the 1990s supermodels, the Heidi Klums of that time period. She was a co-owner of like something called like the Model Cafe or something, which was a big thing in New York City in the 90s. So that's who she is. And if you remember her, here's her Instagram. If you remember the Gwyneth Paltrow episode from like a year or two ago, where she was talking about like, oh, I have an IV hooked up to me right now while we podcast, and I start my morning with bone broth, and then I don't eat anything all day, and I'm so skinny. Who would have thought? Dr. Drew Cole. So that guy that Gwyneth Paltrow had an interview with at whatever, year ago, she's done a podcast with him. I have not listened to it to this part, but I feel like that would be the perfect person to listen to to get the real feelings from Elle Macpherson. So let me just give you the basic rundown of her story. So let's see. Okay. Hold on. I have a Google Doc. Other things that, okay. She was known as Australia's first ever supermodel, and she was diagnosed. What was she diagnosed with? Let's just see. Let's just open an article. Keep it easy. Hold on. Okay. So Elle Macpherson's 60, and she revealed that after consulting with 32 doctors, we're going to talk about privilege again. She consulted with 32 doctors before deciding to do the holistic route. So that's pretty lucky of her. She rejected some conventional treatment after being diagnosed with breast cancer 7 years ago. They don't say what stage. And it is that like let me find it. Hold on. She has the one that's like a certain type. Okay. In 2014, she found a lump in her breast, and while that one thankfully turned out to be a benign cyst, it fortuitously led her to meet Dr. Simone Laboture, a naturopath, nutritionist, and wellness expert renowned for her work in hormone rebalancing, which I believe is fake, cancer, diabetes, and well-being. Okay, a naturopath whose specialty in cancer, diabetes, and well-being. Cancer, diabetes, I don't think you could be a specialist without being a doctor, but okay, well-being, sure, that's a throwaway phrase. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I'm like, my eyes are watering so bad. I started Differin, like the acne medicine, and it's like, I think it's getting in my eyes. Okay. Let's see. People thought I was crazy she said, people thought I was crazy. I knew I had to make a choice that truly resonated with me. To me, that meant addressing emotional as well as physical factors associated with breast cancer. It was time for deep inner reflection, and that took courage. Again, why are we saying it's the courageous thing to avoid treatment? And she also dated a pretty famous anti-vaxxer as well at some point. Which you would assume that she is probably also anti-vax. His name is Andrew Wakefield. They dated at some point, which I guess shows you her thoughts and beliefs, perhaps. Anyways, okay, let's hear from her. Talking about her, this is from Dr. Will Cole's podcast. She's about to talk about her diagnosis. So let's hear from Elle Macpherson.
Yeah, no shame. You talk about your diagnosis of breast cancer in the book. Mm-hmm. Can you take us to that point? When you found out?
When I found out, well, I mean, it was such a I can't say fuck, but fuck. Because it was like, wait a second, this is so ironic. I'm building a wellness business and I've just been diagnosed with breast cancer. And how can that be so?
And what year was this then?
2017.
2017, okay.
And I started Wellco in 2014.
Okay, wow.
And so, but I'd already...
Isn't it ironic? That is so ironic, right? That she started a company in 2014, a wellness company, that she's hawking these products to you. And I'll show you the products for a second. This one's, okay, wait, I'll show you. Okay, this is the website. It's called Wellico. It's a welly. It's like very Australian. It's like well, but it's, you know, you got to put that Australian little like thing that they put, the bobby, like to make it a little silly. So it's a welly. A welly. I'm so welly. And my favorite product that you can buy on Wellico is a spoon. 2 spoons available. Well, I guess they're sold out technically. Actually, one's sold out. The large elixir spoon that's black is sold out. It's $20 for 1 spoon, but you can still buy the evening elixir gold teaspoon in gold, which is $5 more at $25 for, you know, for gold. So that's the type of stuff. And you can also get a protein caddy unfilled. So you can get an unfilled protein case for $60. And then you can also, I guess these are all unfilled. I don't know what that means. Unfilled canisters. So you have to buy the protein separately or something. I don't know. So she sells that kind of shit on her, you know, website. And she started this 3 years before she was diagnosed with a, you know, possibly terminal illness. I'm not saying she was terminal, but could have been if it was left untreated. It is interesting because you think, okay, this woman owns the company. She's probably doing the protocol. She's probably doing the things necessary in their mind to be free of cancer because I'm living a pure alkaline life. And even she gets it. So anyways, okay, back to it. She's going to talk about it.
I've been through sort of a crisis, a crossroads when I was 50. I had been feeling a sort of lack of vitality. I was run down. I was depressed. I put on weight. My skin changed. My hair changed. And I was thinking, what's wrong with me? Mm-hmm. And it didn't occur to me that I might have been going through menopause. I just felt like I was out of sorts and I really wanted to find a solution. So I realized that I was malnourished, that the vitamins I was taking were synthetic, that my body wasn't absorbing them, that we had stopped resting the land for 7 years. So a lot of our vitamins and minerals that we would get from our food source, we were not receiving anymore.
Yes.
I was sugar addicted. I was coffee addicted. And I found a brilliant nutritionist who just said to me, I think we can turn this around really quickly. You just need to nourish your body, hydrate, get more sleep, have more fun. Work a little less. And I did, and, you know, everything turned around. So
she also had surgery. Okay. She said, I just had a little bit more fun and took a little vacation and then I was healed. She had surgery first. Okay. And then there's a good chance that it will be gone based on her specific, it was like a certain type of cancer. We'll talk about that one to get more into the weeds of it. But there's like a 50% chance it's, you know, gone if you do the surgery, but it can come back. That's the issue. And that's where the doctor said, okay, to get rid of it for good, you should do chemo and radiation, whatever. And that's where she said, no, I don't want to do that. And now, she's not currently, you know, going through cancer, but it does not mean that she's healed forever and it's all good, like at all. Anyways, also, JB, thank you so much, JB. JB says, future deep dive, Season Johnson, cancer guru. Oh boy, Season Johnson. I know the other one. She's friends with Gabby Bernstein. She's got a book. It's like Cancer's Stupid or something, some sort of cookbook. I forget her name, but she was on my list, but I figured, okay, let's just keep it simple first, and we can always return back. But thank you, JB. Thank you so much, as always. And I just want to say this to you.
I'm going to stomp you.
So take that to the bank, okay? And also,
what do I need to believe about this so that it serves me? Get off your butt.
Amen. And also,
if I were to die, it would probably be choking on broccoli.
Same. Okay.
I founded Wellco on that because I felt like I wanted to share that with other women, what I had learned. And I thought there must be other people going through what I'm going through. So that was the first part of my journey. 5 years later, I'm diagnosed with breast cancer. And, the mind kind of boggles. You're like, you want to know why, you want to know how, and you want to know what to do about it. And so I went on a deep dive on the why, the how, and what to do about it. And made the most educated decision. It wasn't flippant. It wasn't, I wasn't trying to make a point. I was just wanted to make sure that I made the right choice for me, for my body, to support myself through this journey. And I didn't know where I was going to end up in it.
Right. So I didn't realize it was that 2017. I think we first met in 2018 or 2019. And I remember you going through, you had a regimen. You were seen by amazing doctors through this journey. Through knowing you and talking to you in preparation for this book, we kind of knew the world was going to react a certain way because you kind of know this is the orthodoxy one way when it comes to cancer. And any diversity of thought or idea isn't always accepted. Were you surprised about the response when you talked about your...
he's about to say something. There's an undertone in what he's saying. Oops, not Slack. Get away. It's after hours. He's going to say like a very biased question where he's like, your body, your choice. People are going to judge you incorrectly for your choices. Okay, I do think people judge her. I'm judging her for her choices, but I think it's coming out publicly, making a statement and saying what she just said. I want to help women learn what I learned. So that's what people have a problem with, because you're coming out and you're saying, look at me, I'm beautiful, I'm healthy, I'm well, buy my products, I healed my own cancer. That's the problem. So he's twisting it and saying, oh, you're not allowed to have other thoughts. It's like, no, it's not, you're not allowed to have other thoughts. It's coming out and encouraging other women to make the same choice. And as we know with Jessie Lee Ward, it sometimes ends in death. Okay? All right, I'm going back just a second.
Were you surprised about the response when you talked about your choice for your body?
I was surprised, but I was also surprised because it's one chapter out of 18 in the book. And so there was so much focus on what I chose. And the chapter's not even about what to do if you get diagnosed with cancer. It was really about how to make a decision when you're racked with fear. And when you're getting so many conflicting ideas about or advice from many different doctors, and some were saying, do chemo, some were saying don't do chemo, do radiation, some were saying do a mastectomy, some were saying double mastectomy. There was so much information, I didn't know where to turn. And so at that point, I took in everything that I'd researched, and I went inside and made a decision that felt right, the most supportive decision I could make for my body. And you know what it's like to be in the hot seat. I mean, you've just done an incredible thing with everything that you've been doing with Kellogg's, huge corporation that you dared to question. And look at the beautiful results you've had.
I'm unaware.
Thank you. What the crazy thing is that you didn't choose either or per se. It was both and, right? You used best of conventional and the best of alternative measures as well.
Absolutely, I did.
And world-class institutions like the Cleveland Clinic has functional medicine centers, has integrated medicine centers. They sort of sensationalized something that really wasn't sensational.
Well, at the point of where I had to make a choice, I'd already done the biopsy. I had a lumpectomy. I had a second lumpectomy. And then I hit a crossroads. Okay, so what to do afterwards? It hadn't spread to my lymph nodes. I had multiple choices. And I chose the one that felt the most resonant to me.
And we should all applaud her and think that she's courageous and brave for making that choice. And if you chose the other one, then you should be demonized because you're a sucker for doctors who just want to take your money. Okay, sorry. And I'm saying that because in this interview, she's not coming off necessarily horribly, but there is, again, an undertone through some of these other things that she says that she had to go and emotionally heal herself in Arizona and work with a dentist and make sure she's, happy and therefore cancer free, which is basically implying if you get cancer and don't go the traditional route and try to heal yourself, but it doesn't work, then you must not have been good enough at it. You must not be happy enough. You must not be pleased enough with yourself to be able to heal yourself like she did. There is definitely that. You didn't go to Arizona and sit under the orbs long enough like she did, or, or whoever else does it. People who are survivors, oh, they did it right. They believed enough. The ones that die, it's like, well, they didn't, they must have done something wrong. There's that undertone through all of this, I feel. Okay, so just to give everyone some more details about what type of cancer she had and whatnot. Okay, so she had the diagnosis of the lumpectomy. On the fateful Friday 13th, she was called by her doctor and informed that the diagnosis of the lumpectomy she had was HER2 positive estrogen receptive intraductal carcinoma. Okay. Her doctor suggested a mastectomy with radiation, chemotherapy, hormone therapy, plus reconstruction of her breast. Okay, so that's her diagnosis, if you know anything about cancer diagnoses and breast cancer specifically. And that's what they recommended. Okay. Then she had anxiety. She was in shock, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and then she says... And it really this is the part where I feel like she comes off as, I'm better than you. I'm better than the normal average woman that gets breast cancer. I am superior. That's what I take from this personally, because she says, and it really gave me an opportunity to dig into my inner sense to find a solution that worked for me. I realized I was going to need my own truth, my belief system to support me through it. And that's what I did. So it was a wonderful exercise in being true to myself, and trusting the nature of my body and the course of action that I had chosen. In recent decades, she's been doing a wellness routine. She deliberated for several weeks, seeking advice from 32 doctors and experts. Okay, I'm going to assume some of those experts are just quacks that are available for a consultation. Okay, in the end, she went to a beach in Miami, prayed and meditated, and made one of the biggest decisions of her life, not to undergo chemotherapy. Instead, okay, this is to me like the most offensive sentence. She opted for an intuitive, heart-led, holistic approach. What is heart-led? My heart's leading me. Okay, well, my heart's leading me to pump blood in my body, so I guess I should just listen to, what does that mean? Heart-led? This is fucking stupid. Okay, sorry. To treating her cancer under the guidance of her primary doctor, who specializes in integrative medicine, which uses a combination of therapies and lifestyle changes to treat and heal the whole person. Okay, lifestyle changes. She's already owned a wellness company for several years. For like a decade plus, she's been doing all the wellness routines and being healthy. So what lifestyle changes are going to happen? But anyways. Okay, there's just no right way. She chose a holistic, she says, I chose a holistic approach. Saying no to standard medical solutions was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. But saying no to my own inner sense would have been even harder. Sometimes an authentic choice from the heart makes no sense to others, but it doesn't have to. People thought I was crazy, but I knew I had to make a choice that truly resonated with me. To me, that meant addressing emotional as well as physical factors associated with breast cancer. Which emotional factors? Tell me one emotional factor that goes into you already have a tumor. What emotions can you change to reduce that? Please I would love to know the science behind that because it does not exist. It was time for deep inner reflection, and that took courage. Again, I disagree. I mean, yes, it takes courage because you're taking a huge risk, but it's not like admirable courage. It's pointless courage. Like the more courageous thing is to go, it's scary to go traditional treatment, but I'm going to do it anyways. Okay, this is a very weird This is a very weird thing. Her kids are 19 and 14 at the time of this article. And this is what it says. Her decision understandably received mixed reactions from her family, including sons Flynn and Cy, then aged 19 and 14 respectively, and their father, her former partner, Archie Bunsen. Cy simply thought that chemo kills you, and so he never wanted me to do it because he thought that was a kiss of death. Flynn, being more conventional, wasn't comfortable with my choice at all. He is my son, though, and would support me through anything and love me through my choices, even if he didn't agree with them. My children were extremely supportive in their different ways, but I knew they felt very scared. Yeah, I would imagine they felt scared. But where do you think the one son heard chemo kills you? Like, where would he learn that from? Probably from listening to you, who owns a wellness company, who probably believes that already. But okay. Her ex-husband didn't agree with what she was doing, but he was really supportive. Thought she was courageous. He considered it extreme. And then she says, I, on the other hand, felt the chemo and surgery route was extreme. Okay. All right. So here's the treatment plan that she decided to go on. After the 2 lumpectomies, which probably did not cure her, but take care of the majority of the problem. All this other stuff is just like placebo effect, in my opinion. The lumpectomies that removed the mass probably was enough at the time to keep it at bay. But okay, this is what she says. Elle was under the care of several specialists, including her primary doctor, a doctor of naturopathy, holistic dentist. Again, what is a holistic dentist going to do to help you cure a cancer that's already in your body? But okay. Osteopath, chiropractor, and 2 therapists. For her treatment, Elle took herself to Phoenix, Arizona, rented a house, and for 8 months, she stayed there alone under her doctor's care, focusing and devoting every single minute to healing myself. Again, what a privilege. And then to go on a podcast and write a book about, oh, I healed my cancer, and if you need to think of a hard decision, you should just go with your gut. It's like, the privilege that you have is unbelievable. Anyways, in traditional terms, they'd say, okay, that's what I'm like, okay, what does this mean? In traditional terms, they'd say I'm in clinical remission. Okay, would they? Or would they say you haven't come back for a test? Okay, anyways. In traditional terms, they'd say I'm in clinical remission, but I would say I'm in utter wellness, and I am. Okay, truly, from every perspective, every blood test, every scan, every imaging test, but also emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. She's mentally cured of breast cancer. Thank gosh. And spiritually cured as well. Not only physically. It's not only what your blood test says, it's how and why you are living your life on all levels. Her holistic approach reminded me of Olivia Newton-John, who complemented her clinical treatment for cancer with holistic practices. Did Elle ever seek advice from Olivia? Yes, we spoke a few times when I was diagnosed, and also through both our healing journeys. We did things differently, but we did share experiences with each other and how we feel and how we approach things. And it says, breast cancer, Elle says, became the catalyst for enormous growth in self-awareness, self-love, and self-knowing. And she said this, I'm not about giving advice to others. I'm simply sharing what I discovered through my own real experiences. This is like putting on your website and you're selling some product for parasite cleanses. And you're like, this is not meant to cure anything. This is a disclaimer that everything I say is bullshit. And they put that on the website and they go, and then they make the most outrageous claims about, this can cure everything. I feel like that's the same thing when people give advice about their treatment, but they say, I'm not here to give advice. I'm just giving my story. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. She's got her company. Then she's got her elixir powder. She loves her powder. She loves her protein. She's so authentic. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So that's the gist. That's her diagnosis. That's what she did. And she's in utter wellness now. I will guess that she will probably get it again. probably within, I think there's some sort of statistic. It's like, 50% of women will get it within 10 years or something if they don't do the chemotherapy. So I would guess she probably is going to get it again. And she's going to have to heal herself once more through, getting holistic fillings or whatever she's doing. But anyways, let's return. And then I want to watch a little bit of this 60 Minutes piece that she did, because she comes off as very pissed. And it's kind of interesting about this question. She's pissed that people are asking about this question, which is like, what, that's the thing that all the journalists and people want to talk to her about. And she's annoyed because she wrote a memoir about her whole life. And this is the one that has stood out the most. And she's like pissed about it. And it's like, well, why put it in your book then? I don't know. Anyways.
What were some of the things that you did that were complementary? Like, what were some of the tools? People want to know, kind of the therapies and the supportive things.
I don't go into too much detail because I think it's really important that people who are in this situation go on their own journey, because what opened up for me because it was a reflection of what was required for my particular case.
Yeah.
And I think if somebody else went on that journey, they might find other modalities that are perfect for them, because of course life is going to provide. If you really are going down a road of finding what is resonant with you, it will appear.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'll be different for each person.
Yeah.
And
okay.
But I think the most important thing was detoxification.
Mm-hmm.
And that was not only the environment and the food I ate, but toxic thoughts, toxic belief systems, toxic relationships.
Detoxification. Okay. Another useless term. Detoxification of thoughts. That's what cured her cancer in her mind. Okay. Got it.
Relationship with myself, toxic ideas that I had about myself or about life in general.
Mm-hmm.
So detox was huge. And then, the modalities for detox, of course, which are, parasite cleansers, infrared sauna, cold plunge.
What did I say? I was making a joke 5 minutes ago about all the bullshit that people do and say is like what their routine is. So she's saying exactly what I just said. Cold plunge, parasite cleanses. Oh my God. Red light therapy. Give me a break. It's like so stupid. It's not even fun anymore. Like they don't even come up with new stupid modalities. It's just reusing the same 12 over and over again. And then, because again, what she's saying here is this is what cured her, and whatever thing you have to cure about yourself will heal your cancer in theory. I hate it.
Juicing, fasting, so there's whole protocols for detoxing.
Right.
And then there's support your immune system. So what do you do to support your immune system?
Mm-hmm.
Red light therapy, laughter, grounding, again, hot and cold plunge, herbs and nutrients, raw vegan diet. And
what about the carnivore diet? Other wellness influencers would say the raw vegan diet is the worst diet in the world. It's the worst for your cancer. It's actually carnivore only. It's crazy.
And then looking at the body as a whole, and there's a lot of talk about holistic. When I say holistic, I mean treating the body as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
I think the media means only natural. And there is a big difference between that.
Yeah.
So treating the body as a whole is looking at your physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being.
Yes.
And so I dug deep on those areas. Where had I swept things under the carpet?
Mm-hmm. Both physiologically and mentally, emotionally as well.
And spiritually.
It's spiritually.
Yeah.
When you look at the studies of microplastics and forever chemicals and herbicides and pesticides, I mean, this is, for people, this is very much, we can call it, the media can call it alternative, holistic.
Yeah.
This is medicine. Right. We're just talking about it first.
Yeah.
The media. It's so funny. The media says this, but we're just talking about the microplastics. The media gets it wrong. You're literally on a podcast. Is this not media? I know what he's saying, but it's like, because it's inaccurate. That's why the media is not saying, oh yeah, alternative treatments are proven, because they're not. Okay.
Yeah.
In the sort of complementary world to the functional world.
And the kind of things that I was doing are the sorts of things that anybody would do just to retain or maintain really great health and well-being. It wasn't anything sort of like
woo-woo, yeah. No.
It was just and in fact, I did my protocol very, very intensely for 8 months. And then I continued the same protocol for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Like I never changed it.
No.
I just kept doing it. It became a lifestyle.
Yeah, because we were at dinner once. This is probably 2019. You pulled out your bottles and tinctures and made your elixirs right at dinner. It was part of life, which I appreciate. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Why go to dinner then? You're bringing your tinctures to the dinner table. You're going to Nobu and you're like, hold on. Let me get a drop. Go home.
I did it for a really long time. And interestingly, though, I started going on the road 2 years ago, and I wasn't able to like be as strict about everything. And I started to panic, and I thought, oh my gosh, what if it comes back? And I do testing probably more than anybody else.
Yes. You're looking at your numbers consistently.
All the time. Because, you know, when you're not just relying on modern pharmaceuticals, and even then, I was just always testing to be sure that I was clear.
Yeah.
So my markers radically improved when I fell in love, when I was having fun, when I let go of the obsession about having cancer.
Interesting.
And I said to my doctor, I said, I don't understand this because I'm not doing all the things I used to do. And he goes, but Elle, you don't have cancer. And so psychologically or subconsciously, I was behaving as if I still had cancer. And
which markers?
When I let go of that fear was when my health, you know, exponentially improved.
The labs.
So what you're telling me is the protocols actually are worse for you, that you should just pretend everything's fine and have fun. So why are we going for 8 months to Phoenix alone to deal with this every single day? And then actually the solution is just to have fun and relax. I'm so confused. I'm so confused by the messaging of all this.
Improved even more, like next level of healing when you let that go. And you mentioned sort of the mental, emotional, spiritual side. We talked about the physical side. I just, which I think is so synchronistic as always with you and I just came from Scottsdale, Arizona, right before here.
Synchronicity.
And that's, oh, you were there too?
Well, that's where I did.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. So you talk about it in the book, and I know that's a special place for you.
Yeah.
What is it about Arizona that was healing for you?
Out of the ashes rises the phoenix. And I went to Arizona for rehab.
What does that mean?
And I that was my first profound crossroads in healing, and also understanding that the body can't be looked at separately, as in just a physical box and just a mental box and just an emotional box. So that was 20 years prior. And then by the time I found my way there, I found my doctors there, and it was just, I was called there, but not through some sort of thing, oh, I have to go to Arizona. It just so happened that the doctors I wanted to see and the protocols that I wanted to follow were based in Arizona.
Got it. So you, going back to the sort of the buzz, I think, around.
I just want to answer this question I saw because I'm interested. AS4202 says, did you hear the wellness guy who killed people in a sauna is now dead, maybe because he killed himself? I think he was in Sedona. Yeah, so that guy is James Arthur Ray. He, I saw it on, I forget where I saw it. I shared it on my Instagram that he died. Yeah, I think you're right. I think they basically said it was unexpected, and they didn't go into further details in the article I read. So usually that typically would mean that probably that happened. He had a sweat lodge, or was doing a sweat lodge like ceremony, and it got so hot he was doing it incorrectly. Like it's a ancient practice, and he was doing it in a wellness like boot camp style, and 3 people died, and several other people had to go to the hospital. And and he went to prison, I believe, for some time. But he came out of prison, was going right back to the grift. So there's a documentary about him on, I think it's Amazon Prime. I forget what it's called, but it's James Arthur Ray. And yeah, he just passed away. So that is true. And that was somewhere, I believe, I agree, in Arizona, I think. He was like a Tony Robbins type, but also had a spiritual edge to him. So yeah, a lot of stuff, a lot of crazy stuff goes down in Arizona. A lot of cultic stuff.
The book, do you feel like, because you're pushing, actually Gwyneth told me years ago, she's the person that goes through the weeds first gets scraped, which I think is a beautiful way of putting it, because you are progressing a conversation around your choice for your health, which may not be the right choice for someone else. And you're not being prescriptive, and having this both and conversation.
She is being prescriptive, though. She is. That's the thing. They're bouncing. They always put that disclaimer. Oh, we're not telling people what to do, but you are. This is the reason you have a podcast. You're basically giving people your thoughts and ideas, and hopefully they pick and choose what they want or whatever. So her saying, oh yeah, I went and healed my physical, spiritual, emotional health by getting rid of detoxing my, toxic thoughts. You are prescribing someone what to do in their own cancer journey. You are, whether you say it or not. They're trying to say, oh, we're not doing anything nefarious by having this conversation. It's like, you kind of are. Sorry.
Conversation around this massive orthodoxy around cancer specifically, right? Do you see yourself as you're paving a way for conversations like this?
Not intentionally. I didn't sort of say, I have to be a way shower in this. All I did was follow my intuition, and then I shared my authentic experience in the book. Mm-hmm. It wasn't to sort of tell other people what to do or be a way shower in that sense. Mm-hmm. Although some people might say that I am inadvertently.
You are.
But it wasn't my intention to sort of say, okay, I'm going to open up this Pandora's box and, get this discussion out in the open. Mm-hmm. I simply shared my experience. And
simply.
And as I said, it was the context in which I learned profound lessons. Mm-hmm. Cancer was the context. It wasn't really, it's not about cancer. That is just the context in which I learned very profound lessons that I needed to learn in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
As I've talked to earlier, you are a deeply spiritual person. People can hear that through this conversation. So I feel like more and more people are waking up to a new way of living, maybe.
Okay. I'm done with you, Dr. Will Cole. I'm over your questions and your obvious perspective on things. Just to take a quick aside, this is the James Arthur Ray, if you weren't familiar. He was embroiled in a couple different things. He had another, he did the big, hotel ballroom, come and walk on fire coals type thing that Tony Robbins does. He had something where you had to go out in the world and this is before he was, before he did the sweat lodge thing, but they had a challenge or something where they had to go out in the world and do something. And then someone ended up jumping off of a mall, second floor and died during his conference. And he was there, they were there for the conference. It was very bizarre. So that was not even the first time he was involved in someone's death. He was also in The Secret. Am I wrong? Was he in The Secret? I'm pretty sure. Let me double check that before I say that. But yeah, so I guess The Secret is, don't get caught, killing your customers. Yeah, I think he was in The Secret. He was in the movie. Yeah. Jeez. Here he is. So if you've ever seen The Secret, now you've seen James Arthur Ray. I don't know what the hell his title is here. Can you see it? It looks like it's in a different hieroglyphic language. His specialty. Oh, he's a philosopher. Okay. He's a grifter. He was a grifter. And let me see what his... James Arthur Ray. documentary. So this documentary is about like what happened. Enlighten Us. Watch Enlighten Us, The Rise and Fall of James Arthur Ray. Highly recommend. Very, very good. It's all about what happened in the sweat lodge, him being on The Secret, and then him getting out of prison and then going right back to the grift. And it has a crazy ending where, not crazy, but it was like a very satisfying ending to me in the movie, at least, where he's like back to the grift and the types of people who are showing up for this are like insane, and he's got to like sell them on the course, and it's like, wow, what a horrible life to live, honestly. Like, give it up, dude. It's over. Anyways, that's him. So last thing about Elle Macpherson, she gets kind of pissy in this one. Let's watch this one. This is from Today in Australia. She does not like being questioned. That seems to be the vibe. I think this is what it is. So let's just watch it to see what she has to say. I remember watching this a couple months ago and I was like, ooh, a little testy there.
Spanning over 4 decades, Elle Macpherson was the first Australian to reach supermodel status.
Renowned globally as The Body, she's opening up about an incredible life in her new book, Elle, and she's already making headlines for the way she decided to treat her breast cancer. We're thrilled to say she joins us live in the studio. A big round of applause for Elle Macpherson.
Hi. Welcome,
hey.
Elle. It's great to be here.
Nice to see you, nice to see you. Hey, first up, what a tsunami of response to your treatment and your treatment choices. Not all that favourable with some about your choice. How are you responding to those criticisms?
You know, it's been a somewhat interesting week as far as the press is concerned. We have to remember that a lot of the journalists that are writing haven't read the book, and they haven't been through this experience themselves personally. And
everyone knows, to be a good journalist, you must experience everything yourself. Otherwise, you can never possibly write a fair and accurate report. Okay.
I guess I would say I'm really pleased that it has sparked conversation and discussion, because with discussion comes awareness and comes growth. And so uncomfortable for me, but I think it's very worthwhile in that sense.
Just to remind people as well, and those who haven't read the book, you were advised to undergo a mastectomy, radiation chemotherapy, and hormone therapy. So why did you make that choice to take a holistic path?
Well, just to be clear, I sought a lot of medical advice. I mean, can I say that again? I sought a lot of medical advice. And, you know, the bottom line was that it was very interesting because every doctor had a different opinion on how to treat my specific case of breast cancer. And there was no clear path, and there was no guarantees either way. And so I just made a decision based on all the information that I gathered and what felt right for me. And it's important to mention that I am not giving advice to other people. Right. I'm sharing my experience.
I'm sparking conversations, and my uncomfortableness is worth it because at least people are talking about it, but I'm not giving advice. Okay.
And the chapter itself isn't really about cancer. It's about how to make a decision when you're gripped with fear and adversity.
Well, that's an important point, because I think one of the biggest criticisms has been, you know, your responsibility as someone with such high profile and such an idol for so many, and a role model for so many women, that you do have that responsibility to share your, you know, why you made this choice.
Well, it was an honest chapter, and it's one of 18 chapters. The book is so much more than that one particular chapter. That
I just feel like this. I think this is the part I was like, oh yeah, she's like done with this. She feels put on the spot. She doesn't want to take responsibility. She hasn't taken responsibility for sparking conversation yet. So having the reporter or the anchor sort of a little awkwardly, but like say you do have a responsibility because you're a public figure and people are going to look to you for advice, whether that's fair or not. You know, putting this in your book and putting it the way that you did, you are making a statement, and that's going to have consequences. She's like, well, fuck you. The other chapters was like really good though. This is just one small thing and I hate talking about it. So I think she's like frustrated by the whole reaction. She wants the book to be a bestseller because she's got amazing advice and insights, not that she's controversial.
That illustrates how to make a decision. It wasn't the decision I made that was important so much. It's how did I get there? Not it was in the context of cancer. But we have those decisions in life all the time when we're fearful, and making a decision out of fear is never helpful.
Look, I mean, I defended your decision to make your own choice last week. You have every single right to do that. Even that caused its own storm, so you know it's delicate. Can I ask you this? Your cancer had no clear margins, right? How do you deal with psychologically, and what do you put in place in your life to deal with the possibility of it returning?
A really profound wellness protocol and a great attitude to life. And, you know, that's what anybody can put in who goes through any, you know, medical adversity or disease. It's the same spirit that's required. You know, do your research, look after yourself, have a positive attitude, and, you know, it doesn't matter what you choose.
You'll be fine, babes. If you have any sort of illness, just have a good attitude about life and you'll be healed. That, I think, is how she thinks. And again, she's got the bias because she came out the other side still alive. But then again, what you're saying is people who die from the disease didn't have a good enough outlook on life. That is unfair and rude to say, in my opinion. So,
choose how you choose to treat yourself. That is imperative.
So are you clinically in remission?
I am absolutely clinically in remission. Everybody keeps asking me that. And yeah, and I'm celebrating wellness, you know, and celebrating being well. I've been well for a very long time now.
But again, just to finish on that point, I think a lot of people, once they get it, they go, I didn't do anything to get this, and I'm asking myself all these questions. Mm-hmm. How do you overcome that fear of it return? And do you have that fear?
Well, I think what we do is overcoming fear and making decisions from a place of quiet resonance with yourself is really what, you know, meditation is a great way to do it. And really nurture the relationship you have with your inner sense. And my book starts with that, Give It a Go. Is, you know, starting a young girl in Australia, 18 years old. I take off on a plane to New York, but I had originally been asked to come to America before that, and I said no. And when I said no, I felt so nauseous. I went out and I threw up. Mm. And I realized I'd gone against myself. And
such a relatable story. Anyone, she said, like, she's got a post on her Instagram. Let me look at it real quick. It's like, if I can do it, anyone can do it. It's like, am I supposed to be inspired by that? If I can do, like, you're a beautiful supermodel and you went to New York and took a leap of faith, okay, to start, because someone wanted you to go be a model in New York. So you're saying, I took a leap of faith at 18, but I regret not doing it at 17 because I should have and I didn't. So learn from my mistakes. It's like, not relatable. Hashtag not relatable. Sorry. Like, I'm trying to feign like, oh yes, I can learn lessons from this. It's like, you have a privileged life. Just own it, accept it. You can't be a role model or help the normal woman, you know, that's going to be on the street, I guess. There was something, where was it? It's like, if I can do it, anyone can do it. This one? Oh yeah, I share my story so you can see that all things are possible if you embrace, believe, love, and trust yourself. It's like, if people were calling me at 18 years old and saying, or at 16 and going, please come to, you're so beautiful, please come to model for our brand in New York. And then I called you again a year later and said, please, I know you didn't come last time, but come this time. Yeah, I think I would have a lot of faith in myself that my life is probably going to be okay. I don't know. It's so crazy. People don't even see like how, again, unrelatable their life path was. They think like, I'm just a normal person. It's a choice I made to be a supermodel. Okay, sure. Okay, so that was, she's pissed. She's trying to move away from the topic at hand. So there you go. Go buy a spoon, everybody, and celebrate wellness, being well. I have a feeling, like I said, that she will get it again, unfortunately. That I'm not hoping for it, but I think that's what's going to happen because I forget where I read it exactly, but it's like somewhere her type. Let me see. Remission? Let me search it. I have like a whole Google Doc. Okay, it says, during her second lumpectomy treatment, she was told she had no clear margins, meaning there was a risk she still may have cancer cells. Yeah, so I read somewhere that it said, okay, here's something from one of the articles. It says, as numerous surgeons have now pointed out, in cases such as hers, seemingly caught early with cancerous cells still confined to the breast ducts rather than invading the wider breast tissue, it's common to be offered a choice of either more conservative or more aggressive treatment. Excuse me. And in some cases, a lumpectomy alone could be enough. And again, she had 2. In other words, not only should women think very carefully before rejecting conventional medicine, but Macpherson may have relied on it more heavily than global headlines or Instagram posts praising her for defying the cancer industrial complex suggest. So there's a certain level where it could come back because she did not have, like the one anchor said, the reporter said, like, it didn't have clear margins. So they took out what they could, but it wasn't like one contained area. It, I guess, was spread out. So in theory, it could probably come back and probably will come back, unfortunately. And we'll see what she does then, I guess. Or, you know, again, hopefully nothing happens and she did cure it and got lucky. But statistically, there is a chance. And just in case you didn't like her already, yes, she did date, I guess everyone was saying it's the anti-vaxxer, who is, okay, here's that article from The Independent. Elle Macpherson, the anti-vaxxer relationship and the dark side of wellness. Let's read that part. Okay. Just talking about that. She had cancer. We already talked about that. Okay. While there was a grave lack of clarity over her diagnosis and subsequent treatment, Macpherson has stock in the world of alternative wellness. Barely an interview goes by where her brand Wellico, 63, I don't know what that is, $63 Australian dollars. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm uneducated. Whatever that symbol is, let me know. Of Super Elixir, trademark, a plant-based daily greens powder, isn't given the hard sell. She's often talked about consulting a naturopath, a person who practices alternative medicine. Quackwatch, which aims to combat health-related frauds, myths, fads, fallacies, and misconduct, and the U.S. National Council Against Health Fraud. I should join that, please. Do you need ambassadors? Do you need influencers for this national council? Please, can I join? Has stated that naturopathy is simplistic, riddled with pseudoscience, and widely discredited. Macpherson also raised some eyebrows when she had a 2-year relationship with disgraced former Dr. Andrew Wakefield. Wakefield was struck off as a doctor in the UK making fraudulent anti-vaccination claims and caused a decade-long low uptake of vital medicine treatment for children. Macpherson dated the anti-vaxxers from 2017 to 2019. So she missed the pivotal period of time in which they could have dated and had a even crazier relationship. They could have been in the bubble together talking about vaccines, man. And then someone says, a professor of health and law, Timothy Caulfield, says, I compare him to a supervillain. This guy is unbelievably damaging. You almost can't overstate it, the harm that this individual has done. He is really the new wave of the anti-vaccination hesitancy that's sweeping the world and is killing people, mostly children. And again, that sounds like an overstatement, but we know it's true. So she was like, I love him. Mama, I love him. But I love him, Mama. I guess how you'd have to say it in Australian. Oh no, I love him though. Sorry. Just because he won't get the jab. Oh my God. Okay, never mind. I said enough. So that's one thing. Okay, so that's just kind of like an interesting thought or interesting fact that she dated him. And then the second thing that will make you hate her is this article, which is, if you are an animal fan, you will be mad because I am an animal fan and this pissed me off. She backed down, thankfully, but oops, don't look at that. At one point, she was recommending people, again, she was just sharing her story in an advice, blog probably. She was sharing her feelings about rhino horn treatment, endangered rhino horn treatment. Okay, this is back from 2010. It says, Australian supermodel Elle Macpherson is sashaying backwards from her admission that she uses a concoction made from the horn of endangered rhinos, saying it was just banter. Okay, this is before she had cancer, so maybe it's not mammograms after all. Maybe it's rhino horns because it's bad karma for killing and consuming the horn of an endangered species. I won't even go to Jimmy John's because the CEO kills beautiful animals and I can't deal with that. I like the sandwiches, but I won't go to support that guy. And I feel like the same about this. That's the biggest offense you can make in my book. The 47-year-old runway queen, nicknamed The Body, told the UK Sunday Times via Twitter the taboo treatment does the job of preserving her stunning looks. Well, if your preserved stunning looks is what it's, to lose, then by all means, kill all the endangered animals. We need to make sure your body has no wrinkles and we can look at something pretty in a magazine and on Instagram. It makes total sense. The potion, made from crushed rhino horn powder, tastes, quote, a little bit like crushed bone and fungus in a capsule. Sign me up, baby. Yummy.
Jeez, this is so good.
Fungus and crushed bone.
You're not freaking fine.
I love you.
That's what she says to fungus and bones.
I want to throw up. Hold on.
It doesn't work for animal rights activists, though, who believe poaching endangered rhinos, especially for such a dubious purpose, is the height of supermodel selfishness. Yeah, I would tend to agree with that. Miss Macpherson's actions are reprehensible. Rhinos have long been killed just for their horns, which are made of keratin. Okay, that's what you're going for? Keratin? I think we can get that from other places now, I'm pretty sure. A protein that forms hair and fingernails. The white rhino, which includes 2 species, is the most sought after, and there are only believed to be about 15,000 still living in the world. Animal rights activists say poachers typically tranquilize the animals, saw off their horns, and lead them to bleed to death. Okay, great. I'm glad that your fucking, routine, your face routine required that to happen. Thanks, Elle Macpherson. So there you go. So if you were on the fence, I guess that'll push you over the edge. Okay. And to be true to myself, again, for the second time, and to be aligned with my purpose, I said I'm going to stream for 2 hours, and it's getting up into the 1:48 mark. So I want to revisit this tragic video. This is something that we watched 2 years ago, whenever this happened, 2023. Yeah, 2 years ago, when Jessie Lee had just passed. And this broke my heart. Now, Jessie Lee, if you don't remember, she, again, was, she worked for It Works, was that? Or Prove It? I forget which one she was in. One of those MLMs, doesn't matter. And she got diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. She had lost a bunch of weight and then got diagnosed, and she decided she staunchly did not want to do traditional chemotherapy. She did have a surgery right away, but doctors told her, if you do not take care of this in a certain way, you will die before Christmas. And she had said that a bunch of times. And then this is September 5th, 2023. She died like within a week of making this video. And it was debated a lot as to whether she was telling the truth, whether she was lying here, whether she was to the very bitter end maintaining that detox your toxic thoughts mentality, where she is lying to herself and to everyone about what's going on. So I want to play this because out of the 3 people we're talking about tonight, this is the worst case scenario. She believes so wholeheartedly that she could mind over matter anything in her life. That's what she preached. That's what she taught. She was like in the process of writing a book. She was giving podcasts and talking about, her strength, and she was going to overcome this cancer diagnosis. She was 100%, at least publicly, committed to this choice that she made, that if she couldn't be cured by that, and the mentality is, if you believe, you will receive, then I don't know who actually would be healed, because to me, she seemed very dedicated to the point where she was not doing the treatments that she was told to do, like very seriously. So I want to watch this as a very sad and stark reminder what's at stake and what can happen. So if you're going through anything, cancer, any disease, anything in the future that you need to get checked, my advice as a non-scientist expert in anything, take this video as a reminder of what can go wrong if you don't put yourself first and prioritize yourself and your health. And all this wellness bullshit is just bullshit. And big pharma is bad, but big wellness is worse, in my opinion. And learn from these influencers' mistakes more so than learning from their life stories and taking advice from them. So again, Jessie Lee Ward died 2023, shortly after this video. And just let's watch again in retrospect as to what can go wrong when you take this path. But first, before I go on, I'm going to read this chat. Thank you to Illuminax. Thank you so much. Illuminax says, "Hi Kia, thanks for another live. Lots of love from down under. And I promise we're not all like that idiot. P.S. Any update on the channel manatee?" Okay, Zelda. I have been looking for updates on Zelda. I need to / I was thinking about adding another manatee to the roster that actually gives us more updates, because I feel like Zelda is like in the Keys or something, and no one ever gives us updates. So it feels like it's never anything to say. But here is Zelda. And if you don't know, the channel has a manatee, and it's this manatee. And you can have your own manatee. If you'd like to adopt one, you can go on to savethemanatee.org/adoptmanatee, and there's many, many varieties. So here's a picture of Zelda. And I think they called her Zelda, or her Zelda, because she's got a Z on her back from a boat, which is also horrible. But manatees can sometimes survive being hit by propellers. So nothing to update, but I was considering maybe sponsoring a more common manatee, because this one I think is in the Florida Keys, and I don't know, the facility that does the nonprofit that does Save the Manatee Club is up in Central Florida, so I don't know if they have people going out there and taking as many videos and stuff. But it looks like Zelda has a little baby. That's very cute. Yeah, Zelda was given the name starting with the letter Z because the main scar on her back reminded researchers of a Z. So she's been around since 2002. So she's a little oldie. Last time she had a new calf in 2022. So there you go. And there's Zelda. So if you're ever in the Florida Keys, take a look out. And then here's some other ones you can. How do I get there? How how to help adopt. There's a whole bunch. Look at how cute. Now, if someone were like, oh, manatee blubber, they don't have blubber, manatee whiskers can get rid of wrinkles. Let's murder them. Perfect. I love it. And I do the steward. I do the full stewardship. So I get all of the calendars and such and the certificate. But you can do any of these and you still get that stuff. You get the calendar and the certificate. But there's a ton. Look at that. Annie, Aqua, Ariel. Bama, Betsy, Brutus. Brutus looks cute. Look at Brutus. Chessie, Deep Dent. They're pretty literal with that one, Doc. Anyway, so yeah, if you love manatees like I do, please, by all means, adopt one. Donate, all that stuff. They actually have a lot of cool merch. I have like a lot of the merch and the t-shirts and stuff. I haven't worn them as much lately, but they actually have pretty decent stuff. Where is it? And it was started by Jimmy Buffett, which is pretty cool. Okay, but to keep in the time, because we only have 5 minutes, I'm going to play this video. But thank you for the question. I really appreciate that. Illuminax. And for that I say,
you have to think instead of sitting around eating Skittles and watching Oprah reruns.
And also,
oh shit, there's shit on the pillow.
And finally,
oh, I'm so sorry you lost.
And also, additionally,
she looks scary.
There you go. All right, here it goes. Jessie Lee Ward. Let's revisit.
Well, hello, everybody. What's going on? It's Jessie Lee. You can call me Boss Lee if you'd like to. Or the People's Mentor. I haven't done a live like in a minute. So, well, that's not really true. I did a coffee enema on the floor 2 days ago. Okay. But hi, I haven't just come on and gone live with you guys and chatted with you in a little bit. And I did just get a phone call. I guess it's been like 4 or 5 hours now. I've tried to make the rounds of people that I'm super close with, texting them one-on-one and letting them know what's going on. And the update of this is the update of my PET scan, which is, I guess, the most realistic way to track your cancer. I've tracked a little bit on CT scans, obviously, and then just kind of how I feel. And if we're being super honest, because that's what I do here. If you're new to me, you don't yet follow, you should. But I try to be super open, honest, authentic about everything. Okay. This whole journey, I've just been trying to be open and honest and tell you guys the whole entire journey, which is why I've tried to do the stuff on YouTube, and I've been doing the stuff on Instagram and TikTok, especially, etc. And so I've been updating you guys on some stuff. Maybe you've seen it on my TikTok channel, or I don't know, maybe I've posted about it in Instagram stories. If I look like I'm exhausted, if you're like, she looks really tired, like, I don't know, that is because, first of all, I am. Okay, I have not been sleeping well, which has been freaking me out, if we're being very honest with each other, because I can't sleep. I'm really bloated from just this extra liquid that's in my abdomen. I feel like I'm scared all the time because the lymph nodes and the neck, cancer is just one of those things where if you know anybody that's going through it, myself included, obviously, like, it is the biggest mind F ever. And I have the strongest mindset of anybody I've ever met. And I still am over here on a daily basis, like, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts my kidneys. Is it my kidneys? Is it my liver? I'm over here. If I stub my toe, I'm sure it's cancer related. And if you know or love anybody who's on their own cancer journey, you probably are over here like, yeah, that kind of sounds accurate. So just a quick reminder, nothing that I try to say is me making medical. Nothing I say is to give you medical advice. Nothing I say is to convince you to take whatever path you want to take. Nothing I say is ever to make it sound like I don't appreciate doctors. None of this is to say any of this stuff, okay? It's my journey. You're on my page, so beat it, losers, if you don't like me, okay? Anyway, yeah, the cough. That's scary. Why am I coughing? Okay, so been in a lot of pain for the last few months, which definitely just makes me nervous. all the time. Still don't know if I passed a kidney stone, for anyone wondering about that. But this is a cancer update. This is not about kidney stones, okay? So, excuse me. I got a call today around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And this made my stomach turn over even thinking about it. And as soon as I saw my oncologist's number flash on the screen, I had like a little minor panic attack. Like, do I let it go to voicemail? Or do I not? And I said, I gotta pick up this phone call. Like, I put everything through Chat GPT, like I trained on the accelerator when you get medical news. And so I did that, right? And Chat GPT was like, your little soldiers are fighting so hard. I'm like, oh, hell, now I'm lost again. So I was nervous. And then my doctor called today. And hi, guys, what's going on? It's Jessie Lee. Oh, ow, it hurts to laugh. But sometimes you just got to put a smile on your face, my friends. You got to smile through the kidney pain or whatever the hell it is. Oh, my God, my belly. Everything is aching and I can all even care. I'm really happy. My doctor called me.
Oof. This is very hard to watch. I've not watched this in years, and it's harder than I remember. And also, that to me is like exactly the saddest and most representative of everything we're talking about in the whole wellness self-help space. Smile through the pain of cancer and choose not to treat it because you believe that you have the strongest mindset over other people, essentially, that you can beat it. Even though other people require, chemotherapy for months, you are stronger, so therefore you're going to beat it just by doing coffee enemas in a hotel room. It's sad. It's so sad to watch because it summarizes it so well. You're smiling through pain. It's choose joy via cancer. Like, it's weird to see because, again, we know the results, so we know what happens, which is even more tragic. But there's something about that little last 20 seconds that just, oof, it's hard to see. Anyway, so now she's like, her doctor called, and now this is I don't know. I don't think this is true. I don't think this happened. I think this was, again, wishful thinking. And she was thinking, if I just put it out in the universe, say it as if it's real, then maybe a miracle will happen.
Is aching and I can all even care. I'm really happy. My doctor called me. My oncologist called me, and he said, and he read my PET scan from last Monday, and it's very good news. So for those of you who don't know, it's very good news. Not a drop of chemo, not a blast of radiation, not anything from a single traditional oncologist except for to read my scans, which was something I asked him to do. I said, if I choose not to go a traditional cancer route, will you still read my scans? Will you still tell me what's going on? He said, I promise. I said, okay, thank you. And he said that the cancer is decreasing in my body. Many of my lymph nodes have gone back to normal. There's a few hot spots that were always there. Nothing has increased. He said everything in my body is going back to normal. Praise God. Oh, praise God. And he said, oh, he's like, just get another scan in 6 months and we'll see how it's going. And for those of you who don't know, when I was diagnosed and went to MD Anderson in March, they told me I wouldn't live to see November. And now they're asking me to not get scanned for another 6 months because the disease is regressing so dramatically. So thank you for all your prayers. Thank you for you guys who have sent really encouraging messages. I know I've had weird pains and my kidneys hurt or my liver or something hurts. I don't know what hurts. But wow. I chose not to become a prognosis. I chose to become, okay, I accept my diagnosis, but I didn't accept the fact that I was going to be dead in October. And I've done everything, guys. I've thrown the kitchen sink at it. And I know I owe you another YouTube video going through.
It doesn't matter what, again, you can't personal develop yourself out of life. You cannot, workshop yourself out of shit that happens. You can't. I wish you could. You can't. And Yeah, this is the worst possible case scenario that happens when you have that mindset.
Through everything that I'm doing, I know, and I will, but I just wanted to come on here and tell you your body is meant to heal. Okay. Yes, I had dis-ease in my body. I was not living the healthiest life I could, right? And so, not to say I'm living the healthiest life period right now, but I really feel like I'm doing my gosh darn best. And so to get news like this today, I just, oh God, it is the second best news I could have gotten. And it took me a minute to cry initially because I just think I was in such shock because my body is in so much weird random pains that I was just in shock. And then I'm staring at Aviram and like, we're both crying. So I just hope you guys stay on your path. And I was texting, some of my business colleagues and business mentors, and they were just saying, isn't this how you do everything? You work until you get the results you want. And so I'll keep going.
Yeah, you work until you get the results you want. Works to a point. But you have to be honest with yourself. And I think this is where it goes down a path of unhelpful, because they don't just say in business, in an MLM business where you have to trick people into joining you and you have to manipulate people into doing this because it's such unfun, like horrible, sneaky, manipulative work. Yeah, work hard and then you'll probably succeed if you do these things. But when it comes to life, you can't just apply a blanket statement to everything. Choosing joy does not work in this case. Mind over matter does not work in this case. Your body's meant to heal does not work in this case. And that's where I think, again, it goes too far.
The best thing that could have happened, for anyone wondering, would be no evidence of disease. We're not quite there, but when I have another scan in 6 months, as the oncologist suggested, maybe we'll go there. So thank you so much for all your support and your love and your encouragement. And if anybody's going through any kind of cancers or any kind of diseases that people can't see or whatever it is, I just want to tell you, just keep going. Keep following the path that you know you're supposed to be on, and quiet the noise as much as you possibly can. Your body was meant to heal. So I'm Jessie Lee. If you're new to me, feel free to follow if you don't already. But I've completely changed my lifestyle around. Praise God is correct. Can't say it enough. Praise God and also do the actions. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's the really good news. And I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And I know my hotel room looks crazy. There's enemas over here. There's castor oil over there. There's fiber over here. There's supplements over there. It looks like a disaster because it just is what it is. Okay. Now, I love y'all so much. I appreciate you so much. Keep the prayers coming. We got a long road to go. Pray for this back pain to go away, the stomach pain to go away, and keep praying for the cancer to go away because your prayers are definitely working. So God bless all y'all. Thank you for being on this journey with me. And let's keep this thing going. God bless y'all. Ciao.
So she actually did another video after that, I believe. I'm not going to watch it, but I was going to say I think that's her last video, but she did another one which was called How to Have Unstoppable Faith in Your Life and Business. And it was like an interview or something with a business guy or something. I don't know. So she died. Yeah, let's see, didn't she die? That was recorded. It was not very much longer. Okay, that was recorded on September 5th. She passed away September 16th. So within 11 days, she had passed. It's horrible. It's horrible. I didn't like her at all. As an MLM person, I thought what she was saying was, bad. I didn't like how she treated her people. I don't like the industry she was in, but no part of me does not feel 100% so sad for her. And, I do not like also that she was, your body also, is telling people your body's meant to heal. And she at one point, I never saw the clip, but she at one point was, I guess, saying like, doctors are just pimps for chemo and they're all trying to sell you stuff and it's all bullshit and whatever and pushing all these supplements and stuff instead of just like, traditional treatment. But I do think people will and could hopefully learn from her because look what happened. She went on this path. She was very clear about what her journey was, what she was not going to do, what she was going to do, and she passed away. And I feel like you can't help but learn from that. Even the people who are staunchly supportive of the wellness lifestyle, I think can't look past that and go, well, I knew someone who literally died and they didn't do traditional treatment, so I'm going to do it when and if the time comes. Anyways, sort of a sad topic, obviously. Grab your florals for round 2. No. And I'm joking, and I apologize because I know it is such a serious subject, but, got to have a little levity, I suppose. And I hope that, everyone involved that is still here and has cancer and is going on this choice, path where they're doing these wellness things, I hope they can A, afford to do it, and B, I hope that they do traditional treatment with that extra stuff, because making a choice for yourself is wonderful. But if you're making a choice for yourself because you've been influenced by wellness people who do not know what the fuck they're talking about, that is a travesty and a tragedy. So with that being said, I'm 10 minutes over, but I apologize. That's pretty close. Thank you for joining me. This was so fun. And I will be back next Thursday with another topic. I'll ask again, probably on the community poll area about what you want to talk about. I have some ideas for stuff, but nothing amazing. Look at my lip. Ugh, gross. And if you have ideas, please also comment on the community tabs. And even if I don't do it right away, I usually write it down in a big list. And then eventually, hopefully, we'll get there, right? Right?
I'm outside the Cheesecake Factory waiting for it to open.
We should check in with them. I haven't heard about them. They haven't made a peep in a while. We should see what they're up to. Tom Bilyeu and Lisa. And also I'm still reading the Rachel Hollis book. I'm almost done with it. There's like literally nothing good in it. She talks about Dave very briefly and very nonchalantly, does not go into any details. It's such a letdown, but who's surprised, right? Anyways, all right, I will see you later. I'm going to do a little song with all the members, and I'll see you later. Peace. We're going back to the originals. The built-in sound. Starry Nights, you've been around since the beginning. Welcome to town, Nicole Campbell. How much do you gamble? Did you win $1 million? Or just a couple? Hey, Konzo, what about you? You play double or nothing? Or do you play blackjack? And then hack cough like me. When I drop the microphone, you won't see. Kara Soto. Did you know the dodo bird is from Mauritius? I learned that lately, the other day. Back to the song. That's true. The dodo bird is from Mauritius. Apparently, Lisa B. Did you know that? Lillian Massey. I hope your night is going fantastic-y. Rob Sheehan. Wouldn't wanna be anyone but you, 'cause you're so cool. Alaska Blue Tundra. I hope you're having lots of fundra. And I hope that you get a little sunshine even though it's the middle of winter. Chris Johnson. Do you like brats or hot dogs? Which one's better? Charles Marie. Do you have an opinion for me? Do you like ketchup, mustard, or relish? Let me know in the comments below. Goodbye, everyone. Taro says, meow, 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 meow. Good night.